Join us now for the City of Dillon Council meeting, brought to you by Hometown TV, serving Dillon and Marion counties.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father, which art in heaven, dear Lord God, is once again that we humbly come before your throne of grace to give you thanks for all of your many blessings bestowed upon each and every one of us and upon the city of Dillon. We thank you for your Son, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Dear Lord God, we ask that you please bless our Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, department heads, city manager, and our city attorney on tonight as we gather together to make decisions for the betterment of all the citizens of Dillon. And we pray in everything that we do, we be careful to give your name the glory, your name the honor, and your name the praise. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. The approval of the minutes, now we got to go back, approval of the agenda. Can I get an approval of the agenda first? Get a motion?
I make a motion.
All those in favor? Do we need to raise our hands on that?
Yes, any vote.
Any vote, okay, we'll do that. Okay, the approval of the minutes, do we need to do those separately?
Yes.
Okay, first, the October 14th meeting. Have you had a chance to look over those, Johnny? Were those good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I get a motion then?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval of the minutes for November 11th. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. I'll make my own report short and sweet. It's been kind of busy the last week. We had the Christmas tree lighting on Tuesday night, and it was good. It was good. There were a lot of people out, and it was just, I tell you, when the city does things, they just do it right, and it's you're proud to be a part of it. It wasn't a city thing, but the Christmas parade, that was a lot of fun. I rode in that as Mayor Pro Tem, and I had 7 of my 8. Well, no, I'm sorry. I had all 8 grandchildren in Nicholas's little or in his Jeep. Had a good time doing that, and they had a great time. But I didn't know about Saturday. The Santa thing at the wellness center. I just didn't know about it. So I missed that, but I heard that it was a tremendous success, and I don't know how much money you raised. I think that's the Kiwanis, correct? Kiwanis and the city did that together, and that was good. So there's a lot of good things going on in the city. I tell you, it's been one of those times where I've had thoughts and about, we talk about our problem on the not having parking on Main Street, and I was looking at the parking lot across from Southern Front, and you look at the backs of those buildings, and those alleys have all been paved, and the backs of those buildings would be very easily brought back to their original look. It wouldn't take a lot of effort. And I thought maybe we might be looking at this totally wrong, and instead of doing all this stuff on Main Street and taking out the trees and the greenery and all that, maybe we ought to be looking at making the alleyways a nice, put up nice lights, maybe put some benches. There's some that aren't as, that don't go all the way out to the alley. If you had a restaurant there, you could have something back there that it'd be outdoor dining. Just some thoughts. If merchants were willing to fix up and make room for people to enter through their store from the back as well as the front. just a thought. Bridget, where is she here? You know, just something that you might bring up to the people that are looking at the big scheme of things. And another thing that I thought about, who's the competition for our downtown stores? Basically, that's the internet. And with the internet, you're gonna be able to get whatever you order in 24, 48, most of it's 48, 72 hours. And I thought, you know, what if we had a courier, maybe initially just to try it out, paid for by the city, that at 4 o'clock every day, and this is how it worked, 4 o'clock every day, he would deliver what people ordered from the merchants downtown. And the way this would be activated is they would have a number that they could call, and you know, and they would put that item out to bid if there are other, you know, if there are multiple people that have the you know, have that product, let them bid on it. And then that person at the wherever the store is would call that person and say, this is the price, would you like to buy it? And then they would make the sale, and then the courier would take it to their house by 4 o'clock that afternoon. It might not work, but it's something that you know, we got to compete with the internet. And to me, if someone's bringing it to my house in less than 24 hours, I mean, we've won the game. And I've even got a person that in mind that might do this, got a little red truck, it's a highway, you know, retired highway patrolman. Well, you know, you got somebody that you trust, and it just a thought. And I'm not the one, I'm supposed to, I reckon, I'm supposed to do the dreaming, and you know, we got people that might put that together. If it's not a good idea, it's not a good idea, but it's just a thought of how we might be able to enhance some of the business in downtown. I don't know that I have anything else. It's been busy, and there will be you know, a busy Christmas season, but that's about all I have.
Just to follow up with you on your comments on Breakfast with Santa, that is a project that the city and local Kiwanis Club has been doing now since we opened the Wellness Center, which was what, 2007. This past one was probably the most successful. $795 was donated at the door, and over 50 new toys were donated. And we do this in conjunction with the Dillon Herald and is it East Dillon? Mm-hmm. East Dillon Baptist Church. We give them the money and the toys, and then they deliver to needy families. Am I correct?
That's right.
Betsy. So it's worked out well. It's a good project. 2 hours. I know we cooked 50 pounds of sausage.
Wow.
That was gone within an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it lasted for about 2 hours.
Is there any outreach with that for sponsors, or is it just the Kiwanis and?
Yeah, I mean, the only cost that, I say the only cost, is the pancakes and the sausage.
No, reach out, sponsor, you know, I mean, like we do with golf tournaments.
No, we don't.
They hit up the people for $250 donation to bump the kitty up for the toys.
No, we've never have thought about doing it that way. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that we could think about, but, you know.
Most of these fundraisers, the sponsors are the ones that really drive that. It's not the foot traffic. It's not the golfers, it's the sponsors.
That is correct. But we had a very good turnout. We were very pleased with that.
My daughter was there, and she said it was just first class.
It goes to a good thing there. So, and then having Santa Claus there, and I think sometimes on Christmas Eve, the Santa Claus will visit certain homes early
Huh.
and give some of these toys, am I correct, to kids. So, you know, they get to speak with him and he hands them out. So that was, again, a great success. Speaking of the holidays, city offices will be closed December 24th, 25th, and 26th. Sanitation schedule, I think Bert just sent it to me. We're not definite on what that schedule is going to be yet. Waiting on the landfill to let us know what their intentions are for being closed. And that would determine whether or not on the 24th, which is a Tuesday, whether or not we pick up our normal schedule on the 24th until we know what the landfill do. We know we won't pick up on the 25th. That'll probably be either picked up on the 26th with the Thursday's route. But we'll know more in the next week or so. Once we know that, we hang hangers on the roll carts a week prior so everybody will know what their schedule is. But you'll also can find it on Facebook and our website. That's all I have at this time.
All right. Janet,
In our general fund, our cash account is $1 million.
let's catch up. We're not that good. There you go. All right.
Our cash accounts are, we have $1,346,090. Our stormwater account, we have $126,206. In our year-to-date revenues for 2019, we have $1,728,993. In 18, we had $1,583,426, which we had $145,567 more in revenues in 19 than we did in 18. Then our expenses, we had $2 million.
Hold on, I don't want to interrupt you, but I've got to.
What?
You said we had revenues of 1.9 in 19 versus 1.5. And then you said we had 145 difference. You got,
No, I deducted down there.
you tell me about the loan.
When they were looking at that, I just wasn't trying to read it.
I was doing it for the people behind us.
I wasn't trying to read it out to them, but you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start over. Okay, our revenues, $1,991,078 in 2019. $1,583,426 in 2018. We had loan proceeds of $252,085 in 2019 year to date. So that we take that out because that's a loan proceeds. That brings our revenues to $1,728,993, which is a difference of $145,567 more in revenues in 2019 than we had in 18. Then in our expenses, we had in 2019 $2,984,268. In 2018, we had $2,747,884. Well, I deducted the $252,085 for the truck that we purchased and used the loan proceeds for it. So that brought the expenses down to $2,732,183, which is a difference of $15,701 more in 18 than we had in 19.
We're ahead of the game 106.
Then water and sewer, our total non-restricted account is $1,666,243. In our total restricted account, it is $1,862,293. That brings all cash accounts to $3,528,536. In our revenues for 2019, $2,263,947. In 2018, it was $1,848,015. Well, I deducted the grants and the FEMA revenue that came in. That brought it down in 19 to our revenues to $1,796,711. I deducted the same in 2018, and that brought that down to $1,677,134, which we had $119,577 more in 2019 than we had in 18. Our expenses, we had $1,589,951 in 2019. In 2018, we had $1,381,859, which is $208,092 more in expenses in 2019 than we had in 18.
Explanation.
A lot of that, we had pumps to go out, aerators and stuff like that we had to have repairs. We had Driggers Construction, that 29,000, when was that? Hardy, that $29,557 on Driggers, was that on Lucius Road?
No, that was, talking about going, we're talking about going across the schoolhouse property, wasn't it?
Okay, well, that was an expense in there as well, that's close to 30,000, and then the rest of it is mostly with the pumps, which was, in this year to date,
Pump replacements, these are new pumps or refurb?
some of them's new and some of them's are repairs
Okay.
on that, so that's why the expenses are so much more.
So,
Okay.
Our margin last year was, our expense versus revenues last year was, what, about 350, 400,000?
Somewhere in that ballpark.
So we're gonna be all right with that 200,000?
Yeah, we should be somewhere there.
Okay, the golf course, our cash accounts, $2,566. Our total revenues in 2019 year-to-date is $77,189. In 2018, it was $75,550, a difference of $1,639 more in 2019. Our expenses is $159,939 in 2019 year-to-date, and 2018, it was $157,222.
Wait, now, wasn't there a pump that
That was
went
the
out?
pump at the irrigation,
Yeah,
yeah.
and, because we didn't, overseed, so we saved, what, $6,000 or $8,000 not overseeding this year. Quite frankly, I don't think that, you'll run into some tough times in the early spring before the grass comes, but, as far as the greens go, they painted them and, they're very playable, very.
Should be getting our revenues from the county in January.
We hope that happens.
Can I stop you just a second? Are you gonna talk about the wellness center? Are you gonna put that in your
can.
information for us?
Where is that in? Yes, in the general fund.
I want you to tell me about the expenses this month. I want to see if I'm reading this right. The expenses versus the revenues.
72. Current year to date. The revenues current year to date. So
This
what you're
month.
looking at.
This month. The wellness center made,
Just month,
well,
this month,
the revenues for this month was
Revenues.
$6,840.
Right.
Is that right?
that's month to date.
And what was the expenses?
I'll tell you. Expenses month to date was $38,385.
So a $32,000 deficit. All right. Year to date.
Year to date, what you wrong on year to
The
date?
revenues, and you subtract it by the expenses, correct? And it gives you a total overall deficit for the year.
Well, we collected $52,570 in revenue.
How much have you expensed?
The expenses,
204.
$204,000.
$204,785.
So we got a deficit of $152,000, and we're 5 months into our operating budget year.
That's right.
Yep.
And last year, we totaled $173,000 total
In
in wellness center,
expenses
Yes.
over revenue?
overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Is there a drop off in our membership or?
Well, we reduced some of our fees for membership to gain those back that left us when the new place opened.
We need a plan, Dr. Watts. This new gym is killing us.
How many employees you got again?
Out of that,
How many employees?
2 full-time employees and 15 part-time people.
I know that one thing that, I mean, I've got some people that go to the new gym that work in my office, and I went, really? And they say, well, they have a babysitter there that they pay like $1 an hour. I mean, the person pays $1 for them to keep their child. You know, I don't know how long that would be, you know, from, if that were available from 5 to 8. Just a thought, that might get some of the crowd there that have young children and they, you know.
And again, they were 24 hours.
Well,
You
and
got
they are.
access 24 hours.
24/7, yeah.
Yeah.
The problem I'm hearing is the hours at the wellness center. I don't know how you go about trying to tweak these hours. I know Sunday is church day, but
2
you
to
only
5
open
on
3
Sunday.
hours a day for the whole day.
Now, the more we open, the more it costs us.
I understand, but I think that would help you draw some more members back, because that was one of the complaints that I'm hearing is the hours. And
What
the
is it on Sunday?
2
2
to
to
5.
2 to 5.
The 24-hour access is I know you can't do that at the wellness center, but that's a big draw to that place out there. But,
And during that time, they don't, you know, they're restricted to one space.
Right.
Whereas we wouldn't, it'd be kind of hard to do that with ours.
But we're on a projected of losing over $300,000, close to $300,000 if we don't do something. And
Yeah,
that's a tremendous hit in your hospitality fund.
Yeah.
Why is it so big this month? $38,000 a month to run that?
Yeah, that's about right, because we spend about $400,000 a year.
What was
in
the building
expenses.
in the grounds, Glenn? It was $14,000.
We redid the air conditioning units. We have when we first opened, if you remember, we had a contract with a group out of Columbia who
Monitor
them off-site, and it cost us about $5,000 a year to do that.
Mhm.
Instead of signing a new contract with them, we changed the thermostats where we can monitor ourselves now and adjust it, because since the new, I think it was about 2 years ago, when we got new internet out there, they couldn't monitor it, and they didn't want to spend the money on their end to be compatible with our end. So instead of doing anything, we just changed it over where we can monitor it and set it on a schedule. Kind of if you have one of those thermostats at home where you can do it, that's what we did.
Can you give us a comparison of revenues? I mean, is it the expense side that's out of line, or is it?
Probably, well, the revenue's probably about the same though, to be truthful with you, yeah. After, I imagine it is. We don't have that in front of us, but we can look at it and see.
Yeah, why don't we, you know, drill down on that, because that is.
Because I imagine the
That's one a big
revenue.
difference,
Yeah.
and two, it's a, you know.
We have gained some back, but we also have tried to cut our prices,
Yeah.
you know, about as equal to what they have at the private location.
What's that?
Would there be any advantage in having a dual membership, you know, a reduced value? You'd have a membership at both places for one fee,
In what both places?
the golf course and then the wellness.
I mean, you could. I don't know how much you
Yeah,
would attract,
right.
you know, with that, to be
The
honest with
people
you.
that go out there and golf are not the same people
Yeah.
that will go to the gym and lift
That's
weights.
correct. And vice versa.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to find a way to undercut this gym out here.
Well, again, if you cut your revenues, I mean, because your expenses are pretty much stagnant. They're not going to change.
But you got to find a way to get members. How many
Yeah.
members do we have out there? We used to have 500
It
members.
varies month to month, because that's what it's basically, most of it is on a month basis. So it varies on that. One time we were up 700 members 10 years ago.
But we've got to have some kind of plan put in place. If we don't, we're gonna sink. And it's going fast.
All right. We can give it away, we're pretty much giving it away now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we've got to come up with a plan to try to get our members back. We got to do something. If it's hours, if it's lowering the cost to undercut the gym out there, something.
But now, mind
It'll
you,
draw us
and
back.
and not trying to be argumentative, just trying to say, if we cut our revenues
Right.
as far as what we charge, that's gonna decrease
Why don't you-
still. And if we add hours, that's gonna increase expenses.
Why don't
I mean,
you, sit
I don't
down?
know if it
I understand what you're
if
saying.
it balances out.
You got good people out there, you got smart.
Put your heads
people.
together and see what we can come up
That's
with.
right. Just bring back some plan that, that maybe there's somebody out there that has an idea and, how to get them back.
One more thing, Dr. Wallace.
Yes, sir.
one more. When's the last time we put new equipment in there to help?
We
Is our
replace,
equipment up to
we
date?
replace some at least once a year.
Okay.
Different pieces
Yeah, I
here
think
and
there's
there.
a schedule that we have.
We
to
do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
please.
Okay, then, let me finish. We got our 2% hospitality.
Right.
Okay, in our accounts, we got $1,039,550. Our revenues for 2019 year-to-date is $252,823. In 2018, it was $245,589, which is a difference of $7,234 more in revenues in 2019 than 18. We've transferred year-to-date $75,000 from there to the golf course. Then we've got 5 payments. When we pay in February, we'll have 5 payments left on the wellness
Right.
center.
And I don't think we ought to do it this budget year, but, it's a sore subject when you're, struggling to have members, but, I'd like for us to look at maybe in, the, 2021 budget year, maybe looking at, making 2 payments if we have that cash, and let's try to retire that debt with the idea that we can move forward with developing the pools. Might be another opportunity to get members, and of course that doesn't come without expense, but certainly that payment won't be as steep as it would be. I think, what was our original note on that? 3.6, 3.8 million?
Let's say it was 4. I think it was like
I know, it's
4.2 or
5.1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So when does the 173 come out? It came off this $1 million.
It won't come out until we finish with the audit, and I'm still working on that.
And then the payment for the actual, I call it the mortgage.
They'll do in February.
Yeah.
Comes out in February.
240.
So let's just take the 2 balances now. Right now, we roughly got $600,000. I know it's showing $1 million. but
If
you're
you,
gonna have
if you
to take it
subtract
out.
those 2 out, that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And then between now and February, I'm just using rough numbers, we should collect 100,000, give or take.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Anyone else? All right. Citizens report? Anything? Got a good crowd, we appreciate you coming. No one wants to talk, we'll go ahead on to old
Mayor
business.
Pro Tem, since you asked that question. This is a clarification of some question on the PDRTS, the transportation piece that was supposed to be agreed upon or not agreed upon. Can you give us some detail of where we are with that at the moment?
I can answer that. I'm waiting on some more information from PDRTA, routes and things of that nature. Hopefully he'll have it to us by January, so we can talk about it in January.
All right, we'll go to old business, ordinance number 19-06. grant property tax credit.
I'll make a motion.
Get a second? All those in favor? Aye. All right. Ordinance number 19-07, first bank property, second reading. Can I get a motion?
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Yeah.
With the first bank property, when do we take possession of the building?
We'll work that out once this is passed. Their attorney and Jack will work on the details. I would imagine there, at this point in time, the discussion has been, they will stay there until the new bank's built. But in that, we'll work out some kind of lease agreement with them.
So I understand what you're saying, but timeline-wise,
About 8 months,
8
8 to
months?
9 months.
First Bank's gonna have the building over there on 301 built in 8
I
months?
don't know about that. but-
Matt?
After February, whenever that is turned over,
I would think it'd take a little bit longer than that.
well, my information is they built this building about 8 times, and they're using the same contractor, and it took about 8 months to do it in the other areas. So it's not like, it's not like a McDonald's, but,
Yeah.
they build them,
A
and that's
cookie
what they
cutter.
do. So they know what to do, and there's not a lot of going in to
If
fix.
I could ask the representative, he's here,
Yeah, I mean, that's consistent, not a loss with what I've said is, the group we have used has built the same model, numerous times. That's why we selected this outfit. And they've given us a time frame of 8 months. So it's all about when we start the building.
and when is that, Matt?
We have no idea. There's other issues, obviously, that we have to address, I think, in the next ordinance. It kind of dictates that as far as when we start. But as soon as that's put to bed, we look to start immediately.
Okay. The other question I had was, the Dillon Theater, were they gonna have access to the park? I hadn't seen anything in writing.
That'll be a part of our agreement that we have with them, not in the ordinance, but that'll be a part of the agreement that we'll sign, that will be used for public parking at so many hours a week or at night or what have you. Which that'll be brought back to council to sign off on.
Can I get a motion? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Any
I'm
opposed?
against it.
Okay. Ordinance number 19-08, closing alleyway Harrison Street. This is a second reading. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
And before you got a second?
Yep.
Before you go further, just to follow up on Matt Moody's comment on the next ordinance. If this ordinance passed, this closed the alley between the properties that Strickland's own, we own, Black's Tire, and whoever owns the other property on the frontage of 301. By closing this alley, then it has to go to the circuit court,
Right.
which is, the next scheduled date is February. And at that point in time, those folks who are affected by the closing of the alley can actually go to court and I hate to use the word plead their case, but before the judge, and the judge determines whether or not, at that point in time, if the alley can be closed. If he does or she does declare the alley can be closed, and each property owner that is contiguous to the alley gets a portion of that alley. So they get 50% that's in front of their property or behind their property. So to answer Matt's question is, once that's completed, that'd be the first time they can start construction.
So what time frame we looking at?
Well, that would be February at the
February.
earliest, yeah.
And you said 8 to 9 months.
That would be February, so that could be
This time
October, November,
Yeah. This time
before
next year.
that's done.
And I said
Basically another
from the
year.
very beginning now, they have a term of court in February. It is a jury term of court. This is not a jury case. It's just to be heard by a judge. I've been told that we can get it on that roster. If anything could happen, and I just wanted to clear it.
In February.
In
February, Jack?
Okay,
Just so you understand, if you pass this, you've done your part, but there's still another part to be done by the circuit court.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I oppose.
All right, ordinance number 19-09, transfer city land to Bradley Turner, second reading. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance number 19-10, retail and commercial business incentives, second reading. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, ordinance number 19-11, budget amendment, second reading. Can I get a motion?
I'd like to ask another question. This is for the storm drainage, correct?
That's correct. To hire 2 employees.
Have you had any applications?
We've got 1 or 2.
One, is it for the CDL drivers or for the general labor?
CDL.
One for the CDL?
And last date is, I think, December 20th.
Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ordinance number 19-12, zoning map amendment, second reading. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. New business, ordinance number 19-13, NIN B1 permit used to include alcoholic beverage drinking establishments, first reading. Can you give us some insight?
Benny, will you enlighten these folks?
Yes, sir. Our current ordinance prohibits alcoholic drinking establishments on Main Street. And what we're doing is proposing an ordinance to amend the permitted uses to allow alcoholic drinking establishments. Sort of like your,
And the restaurant over there.
Kintyre.
They were grandfathered in prior to that particular ordinance.
yes, sir.
You made an ordinance after that. When was that?
Early 2000s.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, early 2000. Okay. All right.
And that's what this does is, it does allow restaurants to serve. It's not a beer joint.
Yeah.
I mean, it's served with food.
Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution number 07-19, change traffic pattern on South MacArthur's Avenue. And I think this is that, if y'all have ridden by there, this is the south side on MacArthur, south side of Main Street.
To Calhoun.
To
To Calhoun Street.
Calhoun, yeah. And, you know, I mean, I can't figure out what they were trying to do with that island there anyway.
Yeah.
So, if that's where it is,
Make it from going one way to two-way.
two-way, yeah, and taking that island out,
Mhm.
yeah. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? All right, and lastly, the acceptance of low bid for Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard sidewalk improvements, CDBG grant. And if you could fill
You
us in on
should,
that.
should have in your packet the the recommendation from AECom, the engineering firm who's doing the engineering on this project. Had a bid opening on December 3rd, 6 bidders. There's a list of the bidders and their base bid. Real quickly, low bid came in at $273,675. High bid was $538,149. And then you see there's 4 that bidded anywhere from $346,000 to $392,000. AECom is recommending that council accept the low bid of $273,675 from Digging Deep Construction from New Zion, South Carolina.
Do we know anything about this?
We've never used them. They've done a lot of work in the Florence area, Darlington area, with AECom on doing sidewalk projects.
How much was the total grant?
$490,000 and $50, if I'm not mistaken.
So what happens to the excess?
Well, there's more in that grant than just the sidewalk. We got lighting, some landscaping.
Is it gonna take the whole
It's
490,000?
very possible, yeah.
Do we have any matching money on?
Our match is 50,000, am I correct,
Yes, sir.
Bridget?
And that's, we already had that in our budget?
Yeah.
I make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor? All right, councilmember report, Johnny?
Yep. I want to start off with, I've asked about it the last couple of meetings, and even Tim, Councilman Cowser's asked about it. We recognize we do have a drug problem here in the city of Dillon. I'd like to know if it's possible that we can start getting a report of the activity at the motel out on Radford Boulevard and see how many times we have to respond to that motel. Just in my neighborhood this past 2 weeks ago, I don't know if it was a drug deal gone bad or what. I had to call 911. My kids were in the yard. They screamed for their life. Okay? I want some action. I want a report from this police department, from the top down, on what we're gonna do to combat this drug problem we got here in the city of Dillon. I don't know if we got to form a SWAT team or what. They haven't been called once, been called twice in the last 2 weeks. I had to call them one time. Something's got to be done. We got to put an action plan in place. I'm not singling you out, Chief, but I know you got the resources to get this done. And I hope that you'll bring back a plan to the council. When my kids run in the house scared for their life, I think I need to move. Also,
Let me, if I could, what was the issue?
don't know. I think it was a drug deal gone bad. Don't know if any guns were, but I mean they were cussing, fighting. There was 3 or 4 of them, and we had a great response. Police were there within 5 minutes, all 4 of them, and I'm glad for them. But it's just not my neighborhood. It's got to be happening. Councilman Cowser done made a comment about
It's
it.
not just Dillon either.
I'm not saying it's not just Dillon, Dr. Wallace.
Yeah.
I'm saying we gotta come up with a plan to combat this problem. We can't let it keep going on. When my kids are fearing for their life to go outside, and I don't want them to go outside, I want to go on the other side of the house, I've got a problem with it. I'm not singling anybody out. I just want a plan to come back on how we can combat this problem. We've got problems. I'd also like to talk about, do we have the Narcan? Do our police officers carry the Narcan
For themselves, yes. Not to administer to the public.
can't administer? Okay,
Sorry?
well, we can't administer, if they, you say they can administer if they see somebody in a suicidal state?
Well, the purpose was in case the officers were in a situation where they needed it, so they could administer it to the officer. The EMS carries an Narcan, and that's who administers it to the public.
So we don't allow the police officer to administer to a suicidal person who's in a
Normally
state
EMS
about to die?
Normally EMS is the one who's
The EMS
called to
does?
do that.
All right.
I think that might expose us to some liability if you allowed a non-medical person to.
Well, I don't know. I just didn't know if the officer carried it on or not. I didn't know if we ever administered or not. That's why I have to ask, because I don't know. Also, we just had a Christmas parade. We do a lot for the Chamber of Commerce. I'm asking this council to support this, and what I'm getting ready to say, is have no fees for this Christmas parade, where you can have a nice Christmas parade. And then Dr. Wallace, we can bring it right over to the Christmas tree lighting, and we can have an outstanding event. Louder don't charge, Lakeview don't charge, and their Christmas parade is bigger than ours. So I think we need to look at that. We give the Chamber of Commerce a lot of money. It's coming right down our main street. And this is what we talk about day in and day out in this council meeting. we ought to be able to sit at the table with Miss Johnny and find a way to make this happen. I got my little notes here, I'm trying to go through right fast. Also, the entrance ways. If you look on the east side, coming from Mount Calvary, the trees are covering up the city of Dillon. Welcome to the city of Dillon. I know we had an Eagle Scout just done a little bit of bedding work to the other one coming in off the north side. But I'd like to see if we can't do something to spruce it up. And my last thing is the trash cans. I'm having a lot of people call me and asking me, is there any way that we can find a way to make sure the trash can lid closes after you set it back in the yards? When it rains, they say they're getting 6 inches of water, 5 inches of water. They're having to dump it out. I don't have the answer for them. I just told them I would ask the question. But if you look, a lot of them leave the lids up when you dump it back into the trash can. And that's a fairly new trash can truck. That's all I have right now.
Okay, thank you. So,
I have
On what Johnny said, I've been asked the same thing about the trash cans, and that it's tearing the lid also, Bert. I meant to say that to you the other day.
The reason he does that is so he can tell where he's been on his route, because, you know, on this truck, you have to go down and back. So once he cuts a block, he can look back down that block until he's already been down that block.
But some of them are, the lid is becoming unattached. Like, you know what I'm saying? The little, whatever you call it that goes into it.
Yeah.
Is off, and there was a couple older ladies asked me.
Our cans are really, you know, our cans are older cans. So you know, eventually we in the process, we're gonna try to start upgrading the cans. So the newer can is designed for this truck specifically. So sometimes if you get an older can, it's a little bit more flimsy because it's just older. And he grabs it, it might, you know, pinch it or whatever. So that's, you know, that's something we're running into, and we're trying to replace them as we get calls and things.
And the other thing, Glenn, you didn't mention the New Year's schedule. Will it just repeat itself?
We'll just, yeah, New Year's Day, offices be
The 31st
closed.
and the 1st.
No, just the first.
Just the 1st.
Just the first, and sanitation probably on that day wouldn't be picked up either.
Okay. And the other thing is just a reminder to the public, lock your doors. I know a couple places, Friday or either Saturday night, a couple of people I know personally, their cars got broke into, or not actually broke into because they had the doors unlocked supposedly, and had some stuff stolen. I think they hit some car washes, tried to hit car washes with their coin, laundromat. So just to the public, if you, another thing like Johnny was bringing up, if you see something, say something to somebody. It may just be something odd, but heck, call 911, get them over in the area, and, you know, it might not be nothing, but it may turn out to be something. So, especially this day and time with Christmas coming up, a lot of people need that extra money, so, and don't want to work. So that's all I have.
Bert, did they finish the water over on the quarters? Oh,
Man, here can probably answer that a little better than I can.
did they finish all the water repairs on the quarters where they can get the pavement and stuff done? Because they said asking about that, the streets not being paved.
We got a few more services to shoot, and we'll get them paid right after that. We'll work on that.
That's it.
I had one more thing. I'll go ahead. So,
Looking out, can I say something? I want to congratulate the Dillon High School football team for the championship. This weekend, they went to a buzz saw, we stood the ground, and the 11-12, they went the lower state down there at Feather Hill. And the 9-10 and 7-8 didn't quite get to the goal this time, but we'll be back next year. So I just want to congratulate them.
yeah. I'll tell you, it was a little hard to watch because we were playing a lot of underclassmen, and Chapman had like 21 seniors, and they were well oiled. But if you looked at it at the beginning of the year, you always expect Dillon to go to the state championship. We're just spoiled like that, but really it was pretty much it was short of a miracle that we got there. So to come up short, it's okay. That's 11 out of 12 years, and something that we ought to be proud of as a community. Got it?
yeah, one more thing. I asked you last month, Glenn, about the laptops for the police officers. Do you think you can bring something back next month
Yeah, so I went back and looked at my budget notes, and it was, Dave, do you remember the number?
About 75,000.
75 for 16 cars? But we'll get a new number.
All right. That's all I had.
Nothing else, can I get a motion to adjourn?